So today I'm going to read you one of my favorite stories. I've read it to you in class before. It's a classroom favorite, and I'm sure you're going to recognize the cover as soon as I show it to you. Ready? I am going to read Giraffes Can't Dance. It's written by Giles, Andreae, and Guy Parker-Rees. And here we see Gerald the giraffe, and he thinks he can't dance, and he's told he can't dance, and it makes him feel super sad. But Gerald learns something in this story, and we're going to read and find out what he learns and how he handles what the other animals say about his dancing. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees. But when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. So here he is trying to run around, and he falls with a big thud. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. So he's super sad about this dance because he thinks he's a bad dancer. The warthogs started waltzing, so that's a partner dance. There's two of them together. And the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold, so a pretty dance, an elegant dance. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. So these are all different types of dances that each animal does. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, so he's going out to the dance floor in the middle of the circle. But when the lions saw him coming, they soon began to roar, so they're laughing at poor Gerald. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." So look at all these animals roaring and laughing at poor Gerald, who wants to just go out and dance. They're not being very kind. Gerald simply froze up, so he freezes. He doesn't move. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So look at his big eyes. He's frozen. He doesn't know what to do. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. So all the animals are dancing and poor Gerald is all by himself, sad because they made him feel bad. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up to the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." So this cricket's saying, you need your own song. "Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze." So he's telling Gerald he needs to listen to nature and listen to the sounds around him. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. So he's telling him you need to find your own music. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin, which is an instrument. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was switching round. So he's rocking his head back and forth, his neck, and his tail is swishing around in a circle, and he's starting to dance. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. So here he is in the middle of a backward somersault up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was wide open. I am dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. So he's no longer feeling sad. He's dancing and having a great time. And look over here. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. So they're coming and they're all amazed watching Gerald dance, watching his moves. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we have ever seen." They love his dance moves. How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance, he said, when we find the music that we love. So Gerald learned he needed to find his own music to dance to and not to worry about what others said or thought about his dancing. He needed to do what made him happy. And in the end, he had so much fun at the jungle dance dancing. I hope you guys enjoyed this book. Miss you all. Bye.